Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a serious structural showdown. We're comparing two absolute heavyweights in the industry, Drizoro Maxrest and Drizoro Maxrite 700. If you work with concrete or, just maintain properties, you already know exactly how critical a reliable, permanent fix really is. So let's get right to it. Okay, let's dive into this. Dealing with concrete cancer? It's a massive headache, isn't it? Whether you're a professional contractor managing a giant industrial site or just a homeowner worried about the structural integrity of your own place, damaged structural concrete is a total nightmare. It looks terrible, it's incredibly dangerous, and the worst part, if you don't fix it right the first time, it literally just keeps coming back to haunt you.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the concrete spalling threat, then look at Drizoro Maxrest's quick-setting properties, followed by Maxrite 700 for the heavy-duty jobs. After that, we'll compare the two mortars head-to-head and wrap up with the exact steps for a perfect application.
Section 1. The concrete spalling threat.
Before we can even talk about the cure, we really need to understand the disease, right? So what is concrete cancer? Technically, it's called concrete spalling, and it's a form of structural deterioration. Basically, moisture and air sneak their way into the concrete and eventually reach those internal steel reinforcement bars, the rebar. That steel starts to rust, and here's the really destructive part. As steel rusts, it expands. That expansion builds up this immense internal pressure that literally blows the surrounding concrete right off the structure. It leaves behind cracks, fissures, and completely exposed, degrading steel.
And this damage doesn't discriminate. We see it everywhere. It hits essential structural concrete, prefabricated elements, and it's super common in residential, rain and drinking water tanks. It specifically attacks areas that already have little honeycombs or microcracks. And of course, architectural lintels and exterior pillars that are just constantly taking a beating from the weather, they are prime targets. It's a huge, widespread threat.
Section 2. Drizoro Maxrest, quick setting.
So let's talk about our first solution. This product is your ultimate go-to for rapid, structurally sound repairs. When you just need to get in, fix the problem permanently, and move on, this is the mortar you reach for. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the number 15 to 20. That is literally the number of minutes it takes for Drizoro Maxrest to set. It's an incredibly fast repair process. It means you can finish your patching and structural shaping in one single agile phase. You're not just standing around the site for hours waiting for a patch to harden up.
Let's walk through these key benefits real quick because they're honestly quite impressive. First, it literally becomes part of the substrate. It's totally structurally sound. Actually, its mechanical strength is comparable to or even higher than the original concrete. Next, it's non-shrink and non-slump. Now, what does non-slump actually mean in practice? It means it has a thixotropic consistency. So when you trowel it onto a vertical wall, or even trickier, overhead on a ceiling, it stays exactly where you put it. You require absolutely zero formwork. No messing around with wooden structural boards to prop it up while it cures. And finally, it's chloride-free, odor-free, and non-toxic.
And actually, that non-toxic, odorless feature leads us right to this crucial point. Maxrest is the absolute ideal material for badly ventilated, confined spaces. Think about it. If you're climbing down into a water tank, an elevator shaft, or, a sewer, the absolute last thing you want is to be breathing in toxic chemical fumes or messing with hazardous solvents. Maxrest only requires clean water for mixing. That's it. So it's incredibly safe for confined space work.
Section 3. Maxrite 700, heavy duty.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Because if Maxrest is your rapid response tool, Maxrite 700 is your heavy-duty, maximum protection artillery. This stuff is a silica fume-enhanced, polymer-modified, and fiber-reinforced mortar. In plain English, it is incredibly tough. It's got massive mechanical and impact strength. It's completely waterproof and easily withstands brutal freeze and thaw cycles, but the absolute standout feature here, the built-in corrosion inhibitors. This mortar doesn't just patch the concrete, it actively migrates into the structure to protect that internal steel rebar from chlorides and future rust. It's an absolute game changer for extending the life of the structure.
And because of those heavy-duty features, Maxrite 700 is engineered specifically for aggressive environments. This is exactly the product you want when the environment itself is actively trying to destroy the concrete. I'm talking about marine areas just bombarded by saltwater, industrial bridges, or infrastructure getting eaten away by acid rain, atmospheric pollution, and de-icing salts. It offers extreme resistance to carbonation penetration.
Here's a number you really want to keep in mind from Maxrite 700. 50.
That's up to 50 millimeters thick per single layer. Because of its incredible thixotrophy, you can build out massive structural repairs. And here's a cool bonus. Unlike Maxrest, which is strictly a hand trowel job, Maxrite 700 can actually be applied using pump or spray machines with the wet method. This makes it incredible for covering massive surface areas super quickly.
Section 4. Comparing the two mortars. Okay, so we've looked at them individually. Now, let's put them head to head. This is where you, the pro contractor or the DIY homeowner, make your actual buying decision based on your specific project. So the crucial point is, Maxrest is all about speed and safety in tight spots. With that quick 15 to 20 minute setting time, it's brilliant for standard repairs where you just need to move fast. Maxrite 700, on the other hand, gives you a longer open working time. You can place your next layer after about 30 minutes. That extra working window, combined with the corrosion inhibitors, makes it the ultimate choice for extreme environments and huge, large-scale applications.
Definitely take a quick screenshot of this table if you can. It really summarizes the distinct differences perfectly. You've got the fast setting of Maxrest versus the longer open time of Maxrite. You can clearly see the layer thickness difference. Maxrest tops out at 30 millimeters per layer, while Maxrite pushes all the way up to 50. And check out the additives. Maxrite brings those crucial corrosion inhibitors and reinforcing fibers to the table for those truly heavy-duty jobs. Section 5. Steps for perfect application. All right, now that you know exactly which mortar to choose, let's empower you with the know-how to actually apply these things on the job site. Because, honestly, even the absolute best product in the world will fail if the application is botched. Here is your high-level roadmap. Just 5 essential steps to ensure a permanent fix. Surface preparation, mixing, applying a slurry primer, the mortar application itself, and finally, proper curing. Let's break these down real quick.
Step 1 is surface prep. And listen, you absolutely cannot cut corners here. You must remove all the loose, damaged, and unsound concrete to expose a structurally solid base. You need to clear the concrete all around the corroded reinforcement bars. Actually, make sure you have at least a full centimeter of clearance behind them. Then, obliterate that rust entirely using a wire brush, a needle gun, or a sandblaster. Wash the concrete down, and right before you start, dampen the surface until it's saturated. Just make sure there's no freestanding puddles of water left behind.
Steps 2 and 3 are mixing and priming. You'll mix the mortar exclusively with clean water using a low-speed drill. We're talking around 400 to 600 RPM here. Never, ever use a high-speed mixer. Now, for the ultimate bond, you're going to create a slurry primer. Basically, mix 5 parts of the powder to 1 part water until it's a nice lump-free liquid. Grab a stiff application brush and work that slurry deep into the pores of the concrete and all over that freshly cleaned rebar.
Moving to step 4, mortar application. You must apply the mortar while that slurry primer is still fresh and tacky. Press the mortar firmly with your trowel. This prevents air entrapment, which would seriously weaken the structure. And this brilliantly illustrates a great pro tip. Scratch or lightly mark the surface of each layer with your trowel. Why? Because it gives the next layer physical teeth to grip onto, ensuring absolutely perfect adhesion. Oh, and remember to wait the appropriate time between layers depending on the specific product you chose.
Finally, step 5, curing. Temperature plays a massive role here, guys. Never apply these products if the temp is dipping below 5 degrees Celsius or if a freeze is expected in the next 24 hours. On the flip side, if it's a super hot, windy day, your mortar might dry out way too fast and end up cracking. So in extreme heat or wind, protect your repair. Cover it with a wet cloth or lightly mist it with water for the first hour to make sure it cures to its absolute maximum strength. You know, this quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head regarding the core value of both these products. With Drizoro branded products, you're not just buying a product, you're investing in peace of mind. Whether you need the rapid, confined space safety of Maxrest or the aggressive environment fiber-reinforced armor of Maxrite 700, doing the job right the very first time with a premium product is going to save you a massive amount of money and stress in ongoing maintenance. So I want to leave you with this final question to chew on. Which Drizoro mortar will you choose to permanently cure your structural concrete? Take a really good look at your job site, assess those environmental threats, figure out exactly how much working time you need, and then make your choice with total confidence. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and hey, good luck with your next project.